Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 262.
On Now You Know.
We can't do this show without our Patreon support, so if you'd like to help us, you can head over to patreon.com/nowyouknow and support us for as little as $1 a month. This week's episode is sponsored by Blinkist.
Did you ever feel like you're falling behind?
What do you mean?
Like there's so much information all around us every day, but it's just passing us by. We're not really absorbing it.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
I mean, reading a good book always grounds me and makes me feel like caught up with the world. And Blinkist is my go-to place because they have found a way to hack books.
That's a good way to put it. It's like Blinkist took an age-old technology, books, and brought it into this century.
Exactly. Like today I blinked Billion Dollar Whale, The Man Who Fooled Wall Street, Hollywood, and the World by Tom Wright and Bradley Hope. It's the kind of book I never would have read without Blinkist.
Never would have read it. Why?
Because before Blinkist, I would have thought, well, this sounds like a fun read, but I've got more serious books I have piled up that I haven't gotten to yet. I don't have time for this one.
Oh, right. With Blinkist, you do. It only takes 15 minutes to blink a book.
Yeah, a blink is like a condensed version of a book, the pure essence, if you will. Blinkist has over 3,000 nonfiction books available.
And we're not the only ones who appreciate Blinkist. They have 14 million active users.
And if you like audiobooks, who doesn't? Blinkist also has full-length audiobooks with premium subscribers getting special member pricing of up to 65% off the regular retail price.
And Blinkist now has shortcasts. They've teamed up with popular podcast creators to blink those for you too, so you can get to the heart of a podcast episode fast.
The first 100 people who use our link are going to get unlimited access for 1 week to try out Blinkist.
You'll also get 25% off if you want to try the full membership.
And the 7-day trial is completely free. You can cancel at any time during that period. And we're brought to you by BigBattery.com. No matter what you need to power, Big Battery can provide you with the latest battery tech at the best price per kilowatt hour guaranteed. Their batteries are easily installed, require zero maintenance, and they're made right here in the U.S. Pick up yours today at BigBattery.com and use code NOWYOUKNOW for 5% off at checkout. Now, before we start the show, if you'd like to join us at the end of the show, we're going to do something we've never done on the show before.
Can you at least give them a hint?
It involves filling up one of these.
Okay. Well, stick around to the end of the show and find out what's in the box.
All right, it's time for a Rivian update.
You sure you don't want to do the story at the end of the show?
What are you talking about?
I think you're going to want what's in the box to kind of help soothe you.
You know, it's okay, Jesse. I think I've finally accepted that my Rivian is going to be a little late. I'm okay with that, and I've moved on.
Well, no, that's not really
because this truck is going to be awesome. I mean, tank turns. Like, what other car can do that?
Yeah, about that. The Motor Trend got the Rivian.
Motor Trend got the Rivian?
Yes.
Before us?
Well, yes, they are Motor Trend.
Okay, great. I'm happy for them. Did they do some tank turns?
Why don't you just read the article?
Okay. First, unless conditions are perfect, it's possible each wheel will have a different amount of grip than the others and require more or less power to break traction. While the truck's computer can read the road surface via suspension inputs as you're driving, there's no good way for it to know exactly what the surface under each tire is like when you come to a stop. If any wheel is getting too much or too little power during a tank turn, it can cause the vehicle to spin off in a random direction instead of rotating in one place. Power delivery has to be programmed very carefully to respond to changing grip before and during a tank turn. You can see this issue crop up right at the beginning of the video. What video? What are they talking about?
The tank turn video?
Oh, right. The one from 2 years ago.
You remember at the very beginning that the car drives onto the screen and then it starts to do the tank turn.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look in that first split second where it starts to do the tank turn, it's not spinning. It's getting pushed off in one direction, and then it happens to do the tank turn.
All right, let me keep reading the Motor Trend article here. And next, because the truck's wheelbase isn't square, that is because there's more distance between the front and rear axles than there is between the wheels on either side of each axle, it won't always rotate around the exact center of the vehicle, especially if the surface isn't consistent. If the point of rotation is off-center, it can cause the vehicle to spin off in any direction instead of rotating in one place. A safeguard needs to be programmed to recognize the situation and either correct it or end the tank turn. Well, I'm sure they've done that.
No, just keep reading. Just keep reading.
All right. Then there's the matter of gravity. In order to execute a tank turn, all 4 wheels have to break traction. Once that happens, the truck is at the mercy of physics. If the surface is inclined in any direction, the truck will slide in that direction as it spins. A safeguard needs to be programmed that can recognize this and shut it down before the truck spins into a tree, a ditch, or worse. Well, I mean, they probably programmed that in.
Just keep reading.
Finally, there's the matter of speed. During testing, Rivian discovered the amount of power needed to get all 4 wheels spinning results in a lot of wheel speed, which ends up making the truck spin around very fast. From inside the truck, it's a hell of a ride, so much so there's concern it'll scare drivers who aren't ready for it, which could result in a loss of control if the driver panics. So what are they saying?
It's delayed.
What's delayed?
Tank turn.
The thing they showed 2 years ago to 2 million people and promised, like, Rivian presents tank turn. All right, so let me just finish this article because maybe it tells us when it's coming. Right now, though, the majority of Rivian's engineering resources are dedicated to getting the R1T, the R1S, and the Amazon van out the door as smoothly as possible. After that, they'll have the R2 and the R3 models to work on. Although the team hasn't forgotten about tank turn, a complicated off-road tool that most buyers will only ever use once to show off to their friends and family, just isn't a top priority. Sanderson couldn't give us an updated timeline, but he knows full well how cool tank turn is and how plenty of people on his team are eager to perfect it.
So the video that they shared 2 years ago of them doing a tank turn wasn't really true.
Well, it was kind of doctored if you look at it because, I mean, they turned a muddy, flat piece of ground into the area. That's the only area it can safely do it. It can't do it if there's any mixed surface. The other thing I want to point out is this video about tank turns came out in December of 2019. What happened right before that?
The Cybertruck unveil,
yeah.
Which I'm sure if you're Rivian, it was like not a good time. And I'm sure they were going like, well, what can we do? What can we do to get more sales and to, well, how can we get the story to be about us and not about Tesla? And so they said, oh, what was that thing that you were working on in your spare time, Mr. Engineer Guy? Oh, yeah, I was working on tank turns. Really hard, though. It's fine. Can you get it to work? We'll send Greg with the film team. Go film it. And they probably spent a week trying to get a perfect tank turn.
Well, because if you look closely at the drone shot looking down on the tank turn, there's tire marks going off in all directions. So they probably had to shoot it over and over to get it right because it was probably shooting off in the wrong direction.
Right.
See, because here's the thing. I kind of thought tank turn was this thing where you could go really slowly and just slowly turn the vehicle. But from what I'm hearing here, you got to get the wheels up to speed.
Right. I mean, because when they show the video of the tank turn, it's like a 2-minute video. They do a lot of slow-mo. And I mean, obviously in slow-mo, the truck is turning very fast. But you might not necessarily think about it that way. Maybe it was just that they're having fun. You know, they're flooring it. They're doing something.
Well, here's the thing. I get it that it could be just a parlor trick that you show your friends. Like, I'm going to just spin around in the parking lot or something. But I think of it as more of a valuable thing to get you out of trouble. If you're going down a path and you can't really turn around easily, this could tank turn your way out of trouble. If you can't do it in a controlled way, if the car can just spin off in any direction,
right, you're never going to use it.
You're never going to use it.
I mean, cars have parlor tricks. Doing a burnout is not like, oh, thank goodness I can do a burnout, but right? That's a gimmick.
But I want to go back to why couldn't you do it in slow speeds?
I don't think that the physics of it work out. Like, you really do need all 4 wheels to not have grip, which is kind of should have pretty much given us all a big red flag when we saw the video.
I don't know. Comment below. Let us know. Like, we don't know a lot about tank turns. So, like, comment below if you've done this before and you know about it, because I really want to learn more about this.
But I mean, to me, it's just kind of a deceptive marketing thing that they did. They were like, oh, how can we trick people?
Yeah, how can we one-up the Cybertruck?
And I mean, I understand you might say like, okay, you guys keep working on this. I'm sure that we're going to have it ready in time. I understand that, but then have it ready.
Yeah, they had 2 years.
And it sounds like from the article, and maybe they're going to come out with some official statement that like it's just being delayed a month and they're going to put the proper resources on it. It sounds like they completely are not working on it anymore. Yeah. That they completely ditched it as soon as they were like, oh no, we have production issues.
Well, we have a poll about it this week in the Patreon poll so that we can see how people feel.
And I mean, I think the takeaway from this is prototypes are easy, production is hard.
Where have I heard that before? So as part of the House Ways and Means Committee $3.5 trillion spending package they've approved an updated EV incentive program.
So does this mean that this is the EV incentive program?
Nope. So you get the House, you get the Senate. The House has now come out with their version. And so it means we're probably very close to what the final version will be, but the Senate does get to weigh in and they can, barter back and forth.
Okay. So what's in this package doesn't necessarily mean that this is what's going to go into law, but it's close. We're getting a lot closer.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk about it.
All right. So they've removed the 200,000 vehicle per manufacturer cap. That's good. That means that Tesla is back into the EV incentive program.
GM as well. And it also, every manufacturer no longer has to worry about hitting this 200,000 vehicle cap.
So that's good.
Great.
Keeps the $7,500 incentive for new electric cars for the next 5 years. So I think that's great.
That's great. So that would be all EVs in the United States?
Yes, but there's some rules.
Okay.
It makes this $7,500 incentive a point of sale discount instead of a tax credit. That's really good because that means that you go to the dealership or Tesla online and you get the discount right there and then. You don't wait later for filling out tax forms.
Oh, that would have been so nice. Because when I bought my car, I got the $7,500 incentive, which was great.
But you had to pay it first.
I had to pay for the car first. And then because I bought it in December, there were months and months and months where I was just waiting for my tax credit to give me the $7,500 back. So I kind of outlaid a bunch of cash and I was pretty cash poor for a while.
Yeah, for a lot of people, they don't even feel like it's an incentive because of that delay.
Right.
And because you don't really know if you're going to get it based on your taxes.
Exactly. It was nice when it came in, but I was risking a lot.
Right.
It would have been so nice to have gotten just a discount on the car when I went to buy it.
Now, if the EV has a battery pack smaller than 40 kilowatt hours, they're going to be limited to a $4,000 incentive. Right now, a lot of cars have moved up past the 40 kilowatt hour limit. Like the Leaf now doesn't even sell anything below it. So there aren't really that many. So this may not apply to most people. An additional $4,500 off for EVs assembled at union factories. Take that $7,500, add $4,500 if you're made at the VW ID4 made in Chattanooga, Tennessee at a UAW plant.
Wow. Okay.
So that's $12,000.
That's great.
And then add another $500 for EVs using battery packs with 50% of the components, including the cells, that are made in the U.S. So you could be getting up to $12,500.
Wow. That's impressive.
Now, after the first 5 years, the $7,500 becomes only for U.S.-made electric vehicles, and it applies for another 5 years. So Tesla will be getting 10 years under this plan.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Absolutely.
I'm not a huge fan of the union made thing, but whatever. Price limits on the EVs. Now, this is a big one because the last plan we heard, it was limited to $40,000 cars or less. The new price limits are sedans under $55,000 are eligible.
Okay.
SUVs under $69,000 are eligible. Pickup trucks under $74,000 are eligible. And vans under $54,000 are eligible. So under this plan, like the Rivian and the Hummer probably don't get the credit, but the Cybertruck does.
Those are fair limits. Giving the tax incentive to someone who buys, say, a Model S Plaid, you might go well, I don't know, someone who can afford over $100,000 car.
And let's talk about people who can afford or not. They're also introducing caps on income to get access to the incentives, but they are fairly high at an adjusted gross income of up to $400,000 for individuals and $800,000 for joint filers. So most people are going to qualify.
That's great. Because there had been talks about nobody over $100,000. And it's it is still kind of an early adopter thing and it still is kind of expensive. This incentive helps. But I think that's fair. It's not my dream of what the EV incentive program could be, but
it's better than the last thing we heard about.
It's definitely better than the last thing we heard about. And it's pretty good. Just getting $7,500 off the car federally is awesome. For people who buy a car that's made by a union, getting $12,000 off is huge.
I want to talk about that. So Tesla is not a union company. Mm-hmm. Would it be worth it for Elon to actually go union to get this credit?
So what does that mean? Could he kind of let Tesla employees start their own Tesla union?
Well, it would have to be a union, I believe, under the UAW, the United Auto Workers. I don't think under this bill you could just create a pretend union.
But it would it would be a union. They'd make a union.
I'm sure that the lobbyists have made sure the wording says it has to be a UAW union. Holmar's catalog says, my mouth was on the floor that they expanded it to $4,500 for unions and reduced the American-made to only $500. The $2,500 for unions was already ridiculous, but to expand it to $4,500 in the new proposal, they are clearly targeting one company here. And Elon said, this is written by Ford UAW lobbyists as they make their electric car in Mexico. Not obvious how this serves American taxpayers.
So wait a minute. The $4,500 incentive is just for union made.
Right.
So, I mean, that could be unions in Germany. That could be unions in Mexico. That could be unions in Canada. As long as it's union, doesn't matter where.
Sir Doge of the name tweeted out this meme, which Elon laughed his head off at.
Look, I would take this bill.
It's the typical American politics bullshit where they played horse trading to get what they wanted, and the unions played a big role. Do I like it that they are getting this? No. But, I mean, I'll take at the end of the day, it helps EV buyers.
Absolutely. Just in a very screwed up kind of way.
Right. But, I mean, I do want to go back to, could Tesla turn on unions, and would that benefit them? Because the cost of the car would probably go up, but they would be getting a lot more sales. Because as we've talked about, as you lower the price of a car by $5,000, you double the number of people who can afford it.
Right. And that $4,500 is basically doubling the people who can reach an EV. I don't think Tesla needs this.
That's a good point.
They have been going really strong in terms of profit, in terms of sales, in terms of production, without any incentives at all. You turn on a $7,500 incentive, they're off to the races.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that I think a lot of people are standing on the sidelines right now waiting for this bill to actually become law, because why wouldn't you? If you get in too early, you're going to miss out.
I mean, my friend has been waiting. Patiently waiting. He knows that something's going to happen, and he will probably get some kind of credit. He will probably reduce the price of the vehicle by a lot.
Right.
He's right. If this goes through, there must be more than just him.
Oh, yeah. We've been hearing from a lot of people.
I mean, a lot of people who know anything about this bill have got to have been waiting on the sidelines.
But that's the funny part. Unless you're in our little bubble where you know about EV news, you don't know about this.
But this means that demand for the past couple years, some of Tesla's most profitable years, has been artificially lowered.
Yeah, without the credit.
Because without the credit, but also the credit might be coming.
Right.
It'd be one thing if Congress came out and they're like, nope, that's it. 200,000 vehicle limit. Screw you guys who want to buy Teslas. That was the law that we wrote. We're never going to change it. They didn't do that.
Yep.
They said, well, we're thinking about something, and that limit might go away. And people went, oh, I'm going to wait. So there have been people waiting to buy Teslas.
Pent up demand.
And this doesn't get talked about at all. Anywhere in the press, you don't hear about it at all.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, demand is already so high that, I mean, Model 3 deliveries are being pushed back till like next year.
We're going to talk a lot more about this in our Now You Know Investor Club bonus story this week, because there's some really good news.
Whew. And speaking of good news, Elon just tweeted out that the Tesla Model S Plaid just set official world speed record for a production electric car at Nurburgring, completely unmodified, directly from factory.
Yeah. 7:30.909 time. That's 166.32 kilometers an hour speed. And then he went on to say, next time will be modified Plaid with added aero surfaces, carbon brakes, and track tires, all things that can be done without Tesla being in the loop. Hang on. That means that this Plaid did Nurburgring without track tires?
I guess
like
so.
Just production off the factory floor tires?
I guess so.
Because tires make a huge difference, as we learned at Pikes Peak. Like, tires are everything.
That means that the Plaid's a pretty fast car.
So this video came out on Tesla's website. Really cool to watch. Elon said POV hardcore. And I was just noticing, is that a broken windshield?
Well, yes. I'm imagining that if you're going, 200 plus kilometers an hour and
an acorn hits the windshield or something,
that's probably gonna leave a mark. So yeah, Elon went on to tweet, great work by Tesla team with special thanks to Tesla Automation in Prüm, who are critical to many high performance parts of Plaid. So I mean, to me, this is another hardcore smackdown to the gas head, gear boy people who think that gas cars are superior.
And it's a smackdown to the Porsche Taycan.
I want to know more about these aero surfaces that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the option that we were talking about? Like, what was it?
Well,
last
that you
week?
want, right? Yeah. I mean, this could be the Plaid track package that you wanted.
Right. I don't know. Really cool.
Nurburgring edition.
Yeah. But now this explains something to me.
What?
Now, they say that if you have to explain the joke, it's not a very good joke. But this footage at Nurburgring explains Tesla's Yoke, and I think it's actually a good one.
What do you mean?
So for as long as the Yoke has existed on the Model S, the question plaguing everyone's mind was why, right? The complaint, mostly from people who hadn't bought the car, had always been that in parking lots, making tight turns was going to be very difficult. Some people were even speculating that the steering ratio would change, allowing you to keep you from having to like move your hands over. However, of course, in a parking lot, that would make for very imprecise turns where you'd have all the time in the world to move your hands, but very little room for tiny errors. Mm-hmm. And now that they've actually been delivered, most new owners have not noticed this as an issue.
They said they got used to it right away.
But there is a case where you don't want to move your hands at all, and that's racing. I mean, if you take a look at a Formula One race car steering wheel, it's a yoke, and usually the most you can turn it one is 270 degrees lock to lock. Okay. So that means not even a full turn. It's like this, and that is like going around a hairpin turn.
Okay.
And you move it back and forth like that. And that's as far as you can go, right? Different than a regular car like your Camry. Camry, you go woo, 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 right? And that means that you usually have to take your hands off the wheel in the Camry, but you get very precise steering. If you watch the video of this record-setting run, you'll notice that even on the tightest turns, the driver never has to move his hands. This means that the turning ratio of the car is different than when on public roads. Could it change its steering ratio depending on whether it was in track mode or not?
Wait, so you think the turning ratio of the Yoke changes?
Yes, I think that it does, because if you watch the clip, he never, even on that tight turn, he goes about here, which is like 135 degrees off of center, which would put it at like a Formula One steering thing where you never have to move your hands. That explains why you'd have a yoke and not a wheel, because as Elon points out, it's prettier, right? Looks cool. And if you're on a race course and you can change the steering ratio, why make it a wheel?
Could it change the ratio based on like where it knows where it is? It's like, I'm at a track, I'll switch to track. I'm in a parking lot, I'll switch to parking lot.
So I think that this could mean that there's some pretty cool hardware or software going on where you can change the steering ratio. Maybe you'd even be able to adjust it in track mode, which would be very, very cool. I think it would be very, very popular, because now you have a car that is a race car that you can buy, which turns into a race car using software when you get to the track, and then you can drive it home.
I think this fits into your track package idea really well. You know, get the track package, and that option opens up to you.
And I think it would be a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
So if you like that idea, please hit the like button. Even if you don't like that idea and you just like watching these videos, please hit the like button.
Yeah.
Just hit the like button. I know that it takes a second. It makes a big difference in the show. I don't know why we have to ask you to do it, but you have to do it. It's just the rules.
So it seems that Elon kept to his latest timeline for the FSD Beta 10 release that we talked about last week. We're showing you some footage here from the Dirty Tesla YouTube channel of Beta 10 driving a few days ago, doing an amazing job. Elon said highway stack is still production version, as it is more polished than FSD for now. Single stack for all should release in 10.1. Can you just remind viewers of what the different stacks are?
So when he's talking about highway stack, that's autopilot on the highway that we use all the time. So,
okay, so version 10 is still just using the regular highway version.
Right, so navigate on autopilot, that kind of stuff. They didn't reinvent the wheel there. They just slap that in, so I guess you can seamlessly transition between highway and surface roads, and it will just do it.
Frenchie wasn't as impressed, saying on Twitter, overall good build. It has incremental improvements over 9.2. It's way more confident in turns. Unfortunately, it continues to make silly mistakes. Thanks Elon and Tesla team for the hard work. Looking forward to 10.1 with single stack.
And Elon responded, he said, think of Beta 10 as enabling a significantly higher local maximum than Beta 9.
So I assume that means it's going to be better?
Yeah.
Eric Ralph had this interesting chart, which I thought was helpful. He said, this is generally how I've viewed FSD Beta thus far. Each new version seems to gain a lot of headroom and usually takes a step or two back, but quickly overtakes the earlier version after the first update. So you can see here that basically, yeah, a new version comes out. It's not quite as good as the last version, but then it quickly exceeds it. Right. And so we shouldn't probably judge version 10 by the first few days, because it is a learning program. James Stevenson said, check it out. FSD Beta makes an unprotected left turn against cross traffic from both directions, even though tall hedges block the view on both sides. how. And I'd like to give credit here to James Locke and his YouTube channel that you should check out.
Elon said with 10.1, it will creep forward with more confidence and quickly reverse back a little, just as a person would if it sees danger.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And Galley got in on the action. He took his Model Y out with FSD version 10 for his monorail test, and it was a success. Now, this is where he turns under the monorail in Seattle and sees if the vehicle can navigate this really horrific, I must say, monorail designers. All these pillars are in the middle of the road.
With no curb, no crash attenuators, nothing.
Could you have put a sidewalk or something to protect,
Just a curb would have been nice to slow you down or let you know you were about to crash.
Right. But Elon filled us in on some of the details of how it works. He said FSD 10 predicts height from video pixels directly without needing to classify groups of pixels into objects. In principle, even if a UFO crashed on the road right in front of you, it would still avoid the debris. Some work still needed to tune sensitivity. Also, we need to figure out how to render voxel height of unknown objects in a way that isn't horrendous. But wait a minute, so it doesn't have to identify the object to know that there's a height to it. So that's pretty cool. So it's like, even if it sees something and it's like, I don't know if that's a tree or a kid, I know that it's something. And I'll try and avoid it.
Yeah.
Well, Elon left us with the build I'm driving right now is almost there. FSD 10 will blow your mind. I'm ready. Turn on the button.
Let's do it.
All right, so I saw that you and Ethan were testing an electric longboard on our Now Let's Review channel.
Yeah, it's the Fluid board from Fluid Free Ride, and it was actually a lot of fun.
Now, I know that Ethan rides boards, but I've never seen you on one before. Did you actually test it out?
Yeah, it was my first ride on an electric longboard. It was definitely my longest ride on any kind of skateboard. I actually took to it. I didn't think that I would ever be able to do it, just because I didn't grow up riding a skateboard, but I think I could get used to it.
Now, if you don't know, we have another channel dedicated to electric mobility products like electric longboards, e-bikes, and e-scooters. It's called Now Let's Review. So go check it out for the latest reviews.
Yeah, I mean, the market for electric mobility products is exploding right now, and for good reason. Electric longboards are so much fun, and the prices are coming down to affordable levels. This board from Fluid Free Ride is an awesome contender.
All right, so check out this undercover video that we got at Giga, Texas from Tesla Mick.
So those are Model Y castings, and what does that tell us?
Everyone is conjecturing that this is telling us that the Giga press at the Giga Texas must be up and running.
So up and running, like, are these ready for production?
Well, maybe, but here's what I'm seeing. First of all, take a look at the dust. You're probably so overwhelmed by being inside the factory that you're not looking at dust. The floor in front of us is clean, but there is dust not only under the castings, but on the castings, which, I mean, this is Texas. It's a dusty work site, so there's dust. That tells us something, first of all. Secondly, see how they're laid out?
Right. I mean, to me, this looks like they're doing tests on the casting itself. Usually when you start any casting procedure or molding procedure, you'd do like a short shot test, and you'd be evaluating, like, okay, set that parameter to this, and let's see how it changes that. Okay, and we'll do a bunch of measurements. And that's where you'd want to kind of lay out all the parts and know, like...
Yeah, you could compare them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not how you typically store casts
that are ready to go into cars.
Exactly.
Yeah, and to look at that, let's go to Gabe and Cal's YouTube channel where he's flying over Fremont. And this is a picture of Model Y casts that are actually ready, it looks like, for production.
Right. And this is from 2 weeks ago. So that should tell you that these aren't like scrap parts from the very beginning. I mean, there's some of them that are in like cool shelfy things, and then there's others that are just stacked on top of each other. I would have expected one or the other, not wasting a bunch of floor space by laying them all out. I think that this means that they're still in the testing phase of the Giga press.
Which is fine.
It's totally fine. It shows that they are ramping up for production, but I don't think that these casts necessarily will go into production cars.
Right. There might be some other part of the factory where they're actually starting to store the good ones. These are probably like, the first pancakes. All right, so we're nearing the end of a quarter, and of course, Elon has sent out a quarterly email to employees. He said the end of the quarter delivery wave is unusually high this time, as we suffered, like the rest of the industry, from extremely severe parts shortages earlier this quarter. This meant building a lot of cars with missing parts that needed to be added later. I'd like to thank all Tesla techs and contractors that helped add back the missing parts, often in very difficult conditions. You rock. And we are for sure dying to reduce the size of the end of the quarter delivery wave. The goal is to do so in Q4, allowing some Q4 production to spill over to delivery in Q1. However, early Q3 production was so challenging that we need to go super hardcore to make up for it over the next 22 days to ensure a decent Q3 delivery number. This is the biggest wave in Tesla history, but we gotta get it done. Much appreciated, Elon.
He does this every quarter. He sends an email to all employees, so it goes out to everyone who works at Tesla, and it's usually like, we got to push this quarter. We got to get the sales out quickly. Do whatever you can do. We're doing it hardcore. And I feel like after so many emails that you probably have in your inbox from Elon Musk to everyone, that you're probably going to go, yeah, I get it. You want us to do hardcore on this quarter. The main difference with this one is that he says that Q4 production will spill into Q1, meaning kind of like, don't worry, next quarter you're going to have a break. Good reason for that spillover, which is that Q4 typically has great sales and Q1 typically has mediocre sales.
It's like he's leveling it off.
It would be smart to level it off, but my argument would be, what is up with this end of quarter push? Why do they keep doing this end of quarter push? It just puts a lot of strain on employees, and I don't think that it changes the sales numbers that much.
It's because of the damn stock market. I mean, and analysts who have a lot to do with stock price are always looking at Q numbers. And so if your numbers aren't that great this quarter, but who cares?
Quarters are just a way to break up the year.
Right.
If you had like more of a rolling average, that would be kind of a more helpful metric.
Well, and if you push hard this quarter, you're making it harder for yourself next quarter. But I mean, this is Elon. I mean, he's always pushing and he's always trying to get his troops to work hard. I just think you're right. This is kind of like the boy who cried wolf. If you say it too many times, people stop listening.
Now, I am excited to see what happens in Q4, if they're going to allow for less sales in Q4 to just have a more stable sales figure over the course of the year, because Q1 usually sucks for all car sales. I don't know if people are going to like give up in January and be like, oh, never mind, I don't want to pick up my car in January, it's cold out. It could be a possibility, but I think people want to buy their Tesla cars.
Also, I think talking about that EV tax incentive, once the incentive hits, there's going to be a mad wave. We reported on Tesla applying for this patent a couple years ago, the Tesla laser windshield patent, but now it appears that the U.S. Patent Office has actually granted it.
So just to remind everybody, this is a cleaning system for a vehicle, includes a beam optics assembly that emits a laser beam to irradiate a region of glass article of the vehicle, debris detection circuitry that detects debris accumulation over the region, and control circuitry.
Otherwise known as windshield wiper laser.
Well, is that correct? I mean, I know that the patent shows what looks like laser windshield wipers, which sounds very cool. Isn't it going to be a little complicated to be shooting lasers
at your eyeballs?
At your eyeballs.
I think a lot of us think windshield wiper covers the whole windscreen.
Right.
I think all they care about cleaning off are the little lens spots. So I think they're going to be a laser. Here it's showing it on the hood of the car. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the future it could actually be closer to the lens. But I think that laser is only trying to clear off any kind of crud that gets on over the lens.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be the front lens.
Right. You've got 8 cameras, right? It's got to clean them all. So maybe you have 8 lasers.
Because, you know, wipers are one thing to clean little cameras. So
that's a good point. If you have if we have 8 windshield wipers in the winter in places like New England where it's icy, those aren't going to work very well. Whereas a laser would be able to melt snow and ice, would also be able to clean off a dead bug. And so I'm guessing that's what they need them for. But I have a bigger question.
Yeah.
What if your car doesn't have lasers, like mine doesn't?
Right.
And you turn on finally full self-driving. Does that mean that like we don't really have full self-driving because one day a bug hits my lens and my car doesn't want to drive?
I mean, would the car just pull over and say, please clean off that bug?
Yeah, but like that's different than your car, which would have the laser and be cleaning it off automatically.
Right. Well, not my car. No cars have
No, but
yet.
I mean, if you get an updated model. And then the other question is this something that Tesla would be able to retrofit after the purchase of your car?
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of questions here. Obviously, it's a patent, so it doesn't mean that they are going to do anything with this patent. And this just allows them to hold on to that intellectual property for a period of time. Maybe this is for fully autonomous trucks where there isn't going to be a person in the car to be able to clean off anything.
I think it's for all full self-driving cars, all autonomous cars, because you really do have to keep all those lenses clear. Mm. And as a human, you can rub your eyes, you have, eyelids, but cars don't. Mm. Tesla Time News is sponsored by Cybertruck Owners Club. There you'll find a crowdsourced reservation tracker that you can update and find your place in line. Check out their website for Cybertruck news, discussions, and community for Cybertruck enthusiasts and future owners. And their 3D configurator allows you to visualize the Cybertruck in any color, wrap, and logo, both on screen and in augmented augmented reality. Now, some of our viewers have been receiving a legal notice about a pending class action lawsuit against Tesla, and many of them have asked us to fill them in on what this all means.
Now, we are not lawyers, and none of what we're about to report on should be taken as legal advice. Talk to an attorney before making your legal decisions.
We just want to give everyone an update, especially if you received one of these scary-looking legal notices.
So, what's it all about?
All right, well, let's go back in the time machine to August 7th, 2018 at 12:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Do you remember what happened at that moment in the Tesla world?
I mean, I was probably driving my car to go get lunch.
Okay, and in the Tesla world, though, not just your world.
That's not important to the Tesla world?
Maybe, but no, bigger. Do you remember this tweet? Am considering taking Tesla private at 420, funding secured.
I do remember that tweet. Boy, what a fun weeks and weeks of back and forth that was. Yes.
Well, whether that was the right thing to tweet or not, we're not going to get into that here. We've covered that before. You can check out our videos on that here. What did happen is that a bunch of people began filing lawsuits against Tesla, claiming that Elon's tweets over the next few days hurt shareholders and that Elon's tweets violated the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, specifically Sections 10B, 20A, and Rule 10b-5. In November of 2018, the court consolidated all these little lawsuits into one bigger class action lawsuit and appointed one lead counsel. Tesla then filed a motion to have the suit dismissed, but in April of 2020, the court denied Tesla's motion, and in November of 2020, the class action began with Glenn Littleton as the class representative.
So what's going on now?
So right now we're in the discovery phase. There's depositions going on, there's gathering evidence, etc. A jury trial is scheduled to begin May 31st, 2022.
Okay, so if some of our viewers did buy or sell Tesla stock or options between August 7th and August 17th, 2018, are they just a part of this lawsuit?
They probably have received a notice, and they will automatically become plaintiffs in this class action lawsuit unless they opt out.
So they're automatically in as plaintiffs, even though they didn't say they wanted to be plaintiffs.
Right.
And you have to opt out of it.
Right.
Okay. Now, I see that Elon, Kimball, and other directors are specifically named in this suit. So do they stand to lose like millions of dollars if they lose the case?
They are the defendants, but they do have insurance, as all directors do. So I don't think they will personally be liable. Most likely, this case will either lose or get settled. And don't forget, the plaintiff's lawyers stand to gain about a third of the winnings,
which is why these lawsuits are so popular among some lawyers. So if someone wants to be excluded from the lawsuit, like they receive something in the mail, what do they do?
So the info is in their notice. They need to write a letter with a bunch of stuff in the letter and send it by October 8th. So this isn't just like an easy, like check a box or, text something. Yeah, you're going to have to make some steps, which kind of sucks because a lot of people, let's be honest, are just going to skip that step, which means now they're automatically suing Tesla. Now,
Weird.
If you're wondering, like, well, this is a big deal, though. A lot of people lost money. Maybe, but let's take a look at when this happened. Here's a stock chart of Tesla.
So then if we just kind of go back to 2018 in August, that's... Okay, I don't really see the movement there.
Yeah, I'll circle it for you, make it easier to see.
Okay, and that was a big deal at the time?
Might have seemed like it at the time, right? But in retrospect,
Wow.
Tesla has grown 10x in stock price since then. And I think a jury is going to look at this and go, first of all, I don't think Elon was trying to do anything bad. And also, look how well he's managed the company since then. So if you just hadn't freaked out and you just held on or whatever,
Right.
Everything would have been fine.
Interesting. But of course, I mean, now there's this lawsuit. Now, let's say that I am in the lawsuit and let's say I lost a lot of money. Great. Now I'm in the lawsuit and I'm going to get a check at some point with if they settle.
If they win or settle.
Yeah. I'm going to get a check, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to go on vacation with that check, right?
Doubtful. Don't forget the lawyers get a huge chunk of it. And also, we don't know what you're going to win. If it's just a settlement, it's usually just enough to cover the lawyer's costs. So, I've been involved in these before over the years, and it's usually like 32 cents or $4.09 or, it's like, it's not usually a big deal for you, but the lawyers are like, yay, it's millions of dollars.
So it's barely enough to like buy lunch.
It depends on how many shares you sold and what you did and if they win. But
it's not going to be commensurate to like, oh, I bought it for $4.20 and when I sold it at $3.70.
Look, this lawsuit is saying that Elon did something wrong. If they find him guilty of it, then they might want to, help the shareholders out. But I just think that in the bigger scheme of things, Elon's always trying to do the right thing for the company.
All right, so you might remember that in 2019, Tesla launched a program allowing customers to subscribe to solar.
Wait, how do you subscribe to solar?
Well, that was where you could basically rent the solar panels for your home, and Tesla would take them off if you decided you didn't want them anymore.
Oh, right. It was directed at customers who were kind of like afraid of commitment.
Right. Well, now on Tesla's website, they appear to have ended the program.
So what if I already rented panels, though? Are they going to come rip them off?
That's a great question. I assumed that you would be grandfathered into the program and that they wouldn't just show up and crowbar the panels off of your roof. But it does mean that if you wanted to subscribe to solar panels today, you wouldn't be able to.
So why are they doing this? I mean, do you think that too many customers were changing their minds and it was costing Tesla resources to pull off the panels?
Yeah, I think that could have been it. I mean, there were a lot of people at the time who said this idea is crazy and that it won't work. Maybe those people were right.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla does this, right? They're kind of a different company. They try stuff that the rest of the industry doesn't ever think can work. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. I'd like to know what you guys think. Was this a good idea? Should they have ever tried this to begin with? And why do you think they canceled it?
I'd love to hear from people who actually do subscribe to Tesla Solar. Let us know, is it good? Does it work? Do you like it? Have they come and rip the panels off your roof? Please leave them in the comments down below. So numbers just came in from the China Passenger Car Association, or CPCA. Tesla produced 44,264 electric vehicles out of Gigafactory Shanghai in August. 31,379 of those electric vehicles were exported outside of China.
So remind me, how many did they produce in July?
In July, Tesla had an output of 32,968 vehicles at Gigafactory Shanghai, and over 20,000 of those were exported.
Wait, so that's a 34% increase in production from the previous month.
Yeah, and if we annualize the August production numbers, we're looking at a possible production rate of over 500,000 Teslas per year just from Gigafactory Shanghai.
So is that good? Can you give me some context here?
Sure. So let's take a look at this annual delivery chart from Hypercharts. And if you take a look at last year, 2020, why don't you read that line for me?
That's 500,000 cars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they produced in the world
Last
year.
year. And if they're able to continue this production rate at Giga Shanghai, which they might not be able to, but if they could annualize that rate, they could produce just in one factory what they produced globally last year.
That's amazing. And that's something we want to also talk about on our Now You Know Investor Bonus Club story this week. But I just wish that I had a chart of Giga Shanghai production month by month going back to when they started. Because every month we're like, they produced this many. And I can't remember. I want a chart. What's this?
Bluey, you got it. Here's the chart.
Wow.
So, I mean, a lot of what Tesla does is exponential growth. Here, they're doing linear growth.
But what do you mean linear growth?
Well, let me show you here. Plotting it with a line, a straight line, linear, you see that it's a fairly linear curve.
Oh, it's a straight line. It's not a curve.
Right.
Right. Okay. So isn't this bad? I mean, shouldn't they be growing exponentially?
Well, if you end at the same point, exponential is actually worse than linear because area under the curve. So I think it shows that Tesla knew what they were doing the whole time at Shanghai, and their growth was linear because of that.
And this is during a global supply shortage. So, I mean, who knows if this rate of change is even slower than it would have been. But what I'd really like to know is, if you carry this rate out, where will we be next year at this time?
So if we were to assume that it's just going to continue growing linearly, which is probably incorrect, but let's just say that it was, that would put us at an annualized production rate of about 660,000 vehicles per year.
Wow.
Which would be insane. So next year at this time, if we were to assume linear growth, that's what we would be at. Pretty insane. I would imagine that there's probably some hard limit to the size of the Gigafactory and how many, production lines you can add and how fast you can get stuff to move. But as it stands today, I mean, it shows that it's possible to hit about 500,000 vehicles per year. which
easily.
is insane.
Yeah. Now, switching over to Giga Texas, there are reports of Tesla suppliers who are gearing up for Giga Texas. Plasticon, an injection molded plastics manufacturer in Hayward, California, they supply Fremont with parts. The Austin Business Journal reported that Plasticon has leased a 100,000 square foot facility in nearby Kyle, Texas, that will produce components for Giga Texas.
Simwan North America, a subsidiary of South Korea's Myeon Shin Industrial, will open an auto body parts facility in Kyle, Texas as well. Simwan also supplies Fremont and Giga Shanghai.
Elring Klinger, a German supplier of parts and engineering services for EVs, will build a $17 million plant in San Antonio, Texas. Elring Klinger currently supplies cockpit crossbeams for the Tesla Model 3 production in Fremont.
Sauersig Engineering will build a plant in San Antonio, Texas as well. Sauersig Engineering is a Tesla supplier, and the new Texas operation is expected to focus on EV battery production. Now, as we saw before, Giga Texas almost looks completed. Aren't these companies a little late in getting their production, things just started now?
I'm imagining these suppliers can't start building new factories until they have signed contracts, and they can't have signed contracts with money due until they get closer to production. So they couldn't have been well, Texas will be ready in a year and a half, so we'll build a factory now.
Okay, so isn't that going to lead to a parts shortage in Texas?
No, it's going to be similar, I think, to Giga Shanghai. Remember when Giga Shanghai opened, about 80% of their parts had to come from outside the country. And then pretty quickly, over about a year, that switched from 80-20 one way to 80-20 the other way, where most of the parts were coming from local. So I think what's going to happen is, yes, the parts are going to have to come from other places far from Giga Texas in the beginning, but then within about a year or so, most of the parts are going to come from, looks like, within Texas.
And so that kind of will scale with the production numbers that we see out of Giga Texas. So that kind of explains why it takes a year to get up to volume production of vehicles out of any factory.
And this also explains why Tesla wants to be vertically integrated, less dependency on other suppliers.
Interesting. One thing that I think this does point out that I think is very, very, very important. We just talked about 4 different companies that are gearing up for production in Texas as we speak. There are probably more. And so when we're talking about jobs, which I think a lot of people care about, Tesla just made a crap ton of jobs that aren't necessarily working for Tesla, but they are directly connected to the Gigafactory being built in Austin.
Exactly. I mean, this has a huge ripple effect in that area. That region is going to see a huge uptick in jobs, which then means houses, which then means schools, which then means teachers, which then means, it just keeps going.
Right. So if you'd like to share this with your friend who maybe doesn't like Tesla for whatever reason, but does care about jobs, go check it out over on our Now You Know Clips channel, where we have this story as its own little video, which you can send to your friend and say, hey, what about jobs?
So we've reported on the Microlino 2.0 before.
Yeah, it's this cute little 2-seater electric, and over 24,000 people have put down deposits on them. When is it coming out?
Well, at IAA, the founder, Wim Obuder, said, after several years of development and more challenges than we could have imagined, we are beyond proud to show the series version of the Microlino for the first time. So this is the actual production version.
It pretty much looks exactly the same as it did the whole time. I'm not saying oh, there's an extra wheel, or
there's probably a lot of little changes we're not seeing.
Okay. When is it coming out?
Micro says they expect to begin production in Turin, Italy later this year with an annual run rate of about 7,500 cars per year.
And how much do they cost again?
Micro says the base model hasn't changed in price from 12,500 euros, which is approximately $14,800 since they began, even though some of the costs have gone up.
And are they planning on delivering to the U.S.? Because if they did, they could qualify for even that sub 40 kilowatt hour EV tax credit of $4,500, and that would be a huge discount. That would be buying a new electric car for about $10,000 before state incentives.
Yeah, no, that could really be huge.
Now, remind me of the stats of this car, because I'm interested again.
Okay, so let's see. Top speed of 90 kilometers an hour, so that's 56 miles an hour, running on a 19 kilowatt or 25 horsepower motor with 3 possible batteries, a 6, a 10, or a 14 kilowatt hour battery for a range of 60, 109, or 143 miles.
Well, that's not bad. And for a little city car that you can pull straight in and open the front door, which I think is so cute, I think that those ranges are fine.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get in one. But if that's too big for you, Micro has also showed off their Microletta. It's a 3-wheeled scooter. It has 2 front wheels and it leans into turns. It reaches a top speed of 50 miles an hour with a range of 62 miles.
And I can see why 5,000 people have already signed up to get that one. That is very cute.
Yeah. All right, it's time for the Starman Report, and Starman is at Starbase. Let's check in.
Welcome back to the Starman Report. I'm Eli Burton, your host, and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of Starbase. So we just finished hanging out at the assembly facility, the construction yard, so to speak, and it's really stunning because it is a wide open construction yard in a beach. Elon Musk is building rockets on the beach. This place is so accessible, guys. Right along the private road, you can walk within feet of these starships. It's something that if you've ever been considering checking out, I highly recommend doing it because it's not gonna stay like this and stay open forever. So we are now here by the pad. We do know, in fact, that Elon Musk himself is here working today. His jet's in the location in the area, and we've heard he's in town. Just take a look at the site here. We've got starships getting ready to go on the pad. We've got the booster assembly started being worked on, and the famous Starhopper. One of the things about this place is from photos, it's incredibly hard to get a sense of scale. These things are so massive, and you almost have to be in person to really appreciate their magnitude. But take a look at this. I'm gonna show you a close-up shot from the ground up of this crane, and maybe hopefully that will give you a penny to judge this place by. Okay, so you see the height of this gigantic tower behind me? That is the height of the Starship and Super Heavy booster when it is fully stacked. It looks massive in photos, it looks massive when it's compared to buildings. It is so much bigger standing here right next to it. You guys, there's probably a common theme in this video that you might have sick of me saying over and over again, and that's that this place is so much more impressive and so much bigger in real life, and it is. And I think my entire goal for you is that any of you that see this, I really hope that this inspires you to make the journey to Starbase while we still have such incredible once-in-a-lifetime access. So one of the really cool things about this place is the Starbase launch pad actually backs right up to Boca Chica Beach. And you can take your Tesla or your cars out on it. So we have had our Teslas running up and down the beach here, and the sand is actually packed down enough that we were driving it through the waves. If you don't believe me, check out this footage. Here we go. I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 cheetah mode launch mode in my P100D Model S from in the ocean. I know this isn't your typical Starman Report, and it doesn't usually involve me being at a Tesla at the beach, but this isn't your normal everyday life. This is Starbase USA. So guys, thank you so much for watching this segment of Starman Report, and I look forward to having you back for more of the most exciting news in space.
Thank you so much, Eli, for that awesome look at Starbase. We got to get down there.
We have to.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out all of Starman's adventures, go to My Tesla Adventure, where Eli puts up all of his cool YouTube videos of everything he's working on. All right, it's time for Into the Future. In Singapore, the Home Team Science and Technology Agency has rolled out Xavier, this autonomous policing robot made by HTX. This is a 3-week trial, not only to test Xavier's policing abilities, but also to see how the public reacts as well.
So what can Xavier do?
Xavier will drive around the Toa Payoh central region of Singapore and look for undesirable social behaviors like smoking in prohibited areas, illegal hawking, which is basically selling on the street without a permit, improperly parked vehicles, congregation of more than 5 people because of COVID, and motorcycles on footpaths. When its AI detects any of these activities, it will alert police headquarters, which can then send out a human patrol, but it will also display an appropriate message from the robot. It can say, warning, don't meet on the sidewalk.
Okay.
5 people.
So it's a force multiplier then.
Yes, Lily Ling, SFA's director of East Regional Office, said the deployment of ground robots will help to augment our surveillance and enforcement resources. For instance, the surveillance of illegal hawkers can be manpower intensive as officers need to be deployed at various areas across the island. The adoption of robotics technology can be used to enhance such operations and reduce the need for our officers to do physical patrols.
Okay, so this isn't a Tesla bot, but it does have some autonomous features.
Yeah, it may seem kind of basic compared to what a Tesla bot should be able to do, but it does have 360 degrees of cameras and infrared cameras so it can see in low light. It also has the capability to release an aerial drone on a tether so it can then see from a higher vantage point.
But you mentioned that the Singapore government is also testing the public's reaction?
Yeah, they deployed some four-legged spot robots. Remember those from Boston Dynamics last year? They were deployed in parks for a 2-week trial to remind people to practice social distancing. They played a pre-recorded message to park goers, and reports are that many people did not like the experience. It kind of freaked people out to have robots walking up to them and being like,
"You there, stay far apart from other people."
So it remains to be seen if people are going to like Xavier or not.
Go figure. Wow. Who would have thunk?
All right, it's time for Going Green, and we're sponsored by EcoWare. Remember that you can head over there and find a whole lot of cool designs, and we carbon offset the manufacture, the shipping, and the life cycle of your purchase. We plant 10 trees for every order, and then
we help cap a well with the Well Done Foundation. This is a new shirt.
Yeah. Who dares wins.
Nice, very.
It's kind of our homage to Elon, yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind that we don't just sell t-shirts, but it would be weird if I came out with like a towel on me or something like that. I don't think you'd want to see that. But we also sell towels, blankets, backpacks, like duffel bags.
Your pillow over there. Yeah, I love that pillow.
We sell pillows. This goes well in the back of the car, in the back of your Model 3.
And we have so many different designs you can put on the pillow.
Exactly. So just go check it out, browse through it, see what you like. And remember that everything is completely carbon offset and we plant 10 trees and help cap wells. We're doing the best we can over there. We'd really appreciate it if you headed over to ecoware.us.
So Tesla has delivered the largest battery in the UK. Photowatio Renewable Ventures has just installed a 99 megawatt battery. This is 198 megawatt hours at the Claytie site, which is near the M25 in Essex, which is the biggest project of its kind under construction in the UK in terms of energy capacity. It'll use a system of Tesla Megapack lithium-ion batteries together with Tesla's AutoBidder AI software for real-time trading and control.
It will be added to an existing joint 34 megawatt, 68 megawatt hour Contego battery energy storage facility near Burgess Hill in West Sussex, which has now gone live with a system of 28, you guessed it, Tesla Megapack batteries and Tesla's AutoBidder software.
Yeah, I think the biggest news here isn't just the batteries, it's the AutoBidder software. It's now showing that utilities are using the batteries to stabilize the grid, and it shows that it's not like they had their own software and they're like, don't worry, Tesla, we got it from here. They're like, can you also give us your software?
Right.
All right, it's time for sunspots. The U.S. Department of Energy just released its Solar Futures Study, saying that solar energy could supply 40% of the U.S.'s electricity within 15 years.
That's a 10 times increase over today's solar output.
Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said that the study illuminates the fact that solar, our cheapest and fastest growing source of clean energy, could produce enough electricity to power all the homes in the U.S. by 2035 and employ as many as 1.5 million people in the process.
The U.S. installed a record 15 gigawatts of solar last year, and solar now makes up 3% of the U.S.'s energy supply. So to achieve the goal, the U.S. would need to double its current rate of solar installation for the next 4 years, installing 30 gigawatts of solar every year, and then double it again to 60 gigawatts per year until 2030.
And here's the thing. You can hear that and go, double the rate we're installing today? That's impossible. But it's actually not. We are already doing that. The solar industry is growing incredibly fast because solar is one of the cheapest and cleanest energy sources we have, and batteries are now making solar an even more viable option.
And I think that this study is super conservative. I mean, first of all, it's coming out of the U.S. Department of Energy, which should definitely raise some red flags in terms of how forward-thinking they are. This is the lowest number you should be thinking of, that in 15 years, it's going to be 40%. I would definitely say that 40% is now the new floor. Right. I think it's going to be way higher than that because it is the cheapest and fastest growing. Like, it's there's no reason why solar wouldn't be a higher percentage than that. I mean, this study from the U.S. Department of Energy definitely has ties to their buddies in the fossil fuel industry. They don't want to be painting a picture of a fully renewable world because that would just create like pandemonium. People will be like, oh my gosh. Like people right now, I think can like accept and swallow 40%, be like 40% solar. Yeah, that's okay. I think I can understand that. But if they came out and were like 100% solar, I think it just either the public wouldn't believe them or it would cause such a ruckus and fossil fuel stocks would go to zero. It would be a big deal.
Yeah, if you want to be part of this wave and get solar on your roof, then talk to our friends at Energy Pal. They're the solar experts that can help you get batteries and solar for less. And you don't pay for them, the installers do. So they're just there to help you, almost like your attorneys or your accountants helping you get the best price. Tell them that Zach and Jesse sent you. You'll be glad you did. All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. And don't forget, if you've got a story you want to tell, shoot a video for 2 minutes or less. Make sure you shoot it in landscape or Jesse gets mad. Make sure the audio is good and don't include any music. All right, what do we got this week?
We've got Fabrizio's Model Y problem.
Hello guys, Fabrizio here with a story for you about my new Model Y. It has a little problem. As soon as I open the door, a noise starts from the front right away, even if the AC is off. So no matter if AC is on or off, this noise keeps running and going all the time. So let's try to open the door and you will hear what I'm talking about. There we go. That's the noise you can hear, and it's coming from this area. I'm gonna show you in a second where exactly. And the most annoying part is that you can hear it from inside. This is a sound of about 40 decibels, which is very annoying and is always there. The AC is off, you see, and it's very, very annoying. The noise is coming exactly from one of the water pumps. One of the water pumps right there. So what I did was to deal with the nearest service center for the past couple months. I've been back and forth with them trying to figure this out. At the end, we compared my Model Y with other Model Ys, and all the Model Ys were completely quiet. So I said, what's going on, Tesla? Because why these new Model Ys have this problem? So my only hope is to find more people having this problem that can help me to push Tesla to do something about it. So I created this website at modelYissue.com where I explain the problem and I invite all the Model Y owners having the same issue to report to their service center and complain about it because I think this is a problem that should be addressed. So you got my story, and I hope you enjoyed it, and now you know.
All right, I get it. You could say that Fabrizio has a first world problem, like, oh, your car makes a little noise, but this is not acceptable. This is why we should be VPs of special operations at Tesla, because look, he brought the car in. They were like, yep, we hear it. It doesn't happen on other cars. And then they told him to go home.
This should be fixed.
Yeah.
This should be moved up the chain and it should be fixed.
And here's the thing. It's not that it should be fixed because rich people should get cars that are quieter. It's because this isn't what a Model Y should do. There's obviously a problem with that pump. It either is the pump's problem, or there's a solenoid stuck on, or there's a software glitch, whatever. They should identify it. And if it takes them a couple days and a few $1,000 to identify it, that's cheap money, because these cars are going around the world and some of them are going to have this problem. If Tesla knows what the problem is and can quickly identify it in each case and solve it, that's better than all of these owners having the problem. And who knows? I mean, maybe these pumps are burning themselves out.
Right.
Like, there's so many reasons why this should be fixed.
And this is going against Tesla's mission. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the advent of sustainable energy. Having a pump like this means that Fabrizio, who's a very nice guy and would definitely share this with a lot of people, won't feel as comfortable being like, check out my car. It makes an annoying noise. Right. Yeah, that's just a thing it does, and they won't fix it. That's not what you want to hear. And Fabrizio, like I said, is a nice guy, so he didn't act like a jerk with the service staff, which unfortunately we've heard is the only way that you can get anything accomplished with Tesla service if they aren't going to help you. Is like, you have to start posturing and being like, well, I need it fixed. I'm not going to pick it up, blah, blah, blah. That seems to be the only way that, stuff gets responded to. And that means that really nice people who are actually going to be advancing Tesla's mission, aren't going to get their problems solved.
Yep, so head over to modelysissue.com if you can help them out. All right, it's time for the Patreon bonus stories, and we're going to be talking about some new information regarding that Tesla crash in Texas.
A new UK law which could help EV adoption.
And some newly revealed electric vehicles.
Also, check out our Investor Club bonus story where we're going to be doing a deep dive into Tesla's financials.
So head on over to patreon.com/nowyouknow. Support us for as little as $1 a month. You're going to get to see all of our Patreon bonus stories. Hey everybody, we're back from the Patreon bonus stories. It's time for the shout outs. These are the amazing folks that make this show possible. Who do we got, Jess?
We've got Wayne Walker,
James Case,
Anthony Francis,
Adrian Hockman,
Daniel Maher,
Madia Pincelli,
Najum Iqbal,
Jack Cornevu,
Nick,
John D. Hauben,
Zeuskas,
Sean Bissell,
Shivanish,
Joseph Piazza,
Steven Sorensen,
Dr. T,
Alexei Nyonianik,
Avery Davis,
Rick Lambiasi,
Mario Mariano,
Teddy Orberts,
Chris Hambridge,
Donald F. Sutherland,
and Christoph Rath.
Thank you so much for supporting us. We can't do the show without you.
All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week, and he was tweeting about the new Netflix show called Inspiration 4. I've seen the first episode. Really cool. I really recommend you guys go see it because these 4 non-astronauts are going to be flying in a Dragon capsule.
And you get to watch it on Netflix. And of course, I guess everyone has Netflix, so you can watch it. This is not an ad for Netflix. Don't get it if you don't want to.
Anthony Smith tweeted this Fast Company article about how Dyson failed to make an electric car. He said, great read. Still gutted they canned this. At a relatively low volume, we would have to sell the car at $210,000. Makes Tesla's achievements all the more astounding.
Elon said production is hard. Production with positive cash flow is extremely hard. He said large incumbent car makers sell cars at low to zero true margin. Most of their profit is selling replacement parts to their fleet, of which 70% to 80% are past warranty. Like razors and blades, new car companies lack this advantage, also lack sales and service infrastructure. So he's just giving you the tools to make your own car company, and it's basically don't do that.
Holmar's catalog says, it's true, Elon was wrong in 2015 when he said Tesla could be worth $700 billion in 10 years. It turns out they only needed 5.
Elon said, I'm not always late, haha.
Jeff said, how does Tesla have the best car speaker system in the world despite having unbranded speakers? The secret sauce? It's Tesla's proprietary audio codec. Tesla Audio developed their own audio codec in-house and has been improving it via over-the-air software updates.
Elon says Tesla audio engineering is great.
Viv says, it's crazy how you can turn it up to 11 and it still doesn't rattle even when listening to techno.
Elon said, that's one of my tests.
And for you software engineers out there, Elon has a coding tip for you.
3 hours of debugging can save you 5 minutes of reading the docs.
Elon says, worth it. Say Cheese says, Jeff Bezos has reportedly invested in anti-aging startup labs. Scientists will have $1 million salary and will research on how cells age and how to reverse them.
And Elon tweeted, and if it doesn't work, he's going to sue death.
Holmar's catalog said Blue Origin has sued the Earth's atmosphere for making it too difficult to reach orbit. Pranay said, Bezos, I'll build a lander that carries 5 tons. I want $6 billion. I have no intention to use this thing for anything else. Elon, I'll build a lander that I intend to use for all sorts of valuable reasons. It'll carry around 100 tons. I only need $3 billion. I'll cover the rest myself.
Elon says that sums it up well.
The Russian space chief invites Elon Musk to his home. I already set the tea kettle on the heat.
Elon says, thanks. What's your favorite tea?
Holmar's catalog says, could you give more details on how Tesla will expand full self-driving beta after assembling a list of requests from opt-in public beta button? Will it be limited to X number of new users per day, limited by region of the country? Will most get it, or will it start out slowly? People are dying to know.
Elon says expansion will be gradual based on ensuring maximum safety. So he didn't answer the question, basically.
No. Kristen said, when Tesla breaks the mold, and then she showed us basically every car out there.
Which looks strikingly similar.
And Elon said, Cybertruck is not like the others. Slashdot said, strange repeating radio signal near center of Milky Way has scientists stumped.
Elon said, just messing with you, haha.
Earl of V10 says, Elon, what are the practical reasons for the Yoke, or does it just look cool?
Elon said, yet another round wheel is boring and blocks the screen. Full self-driving in panoramic mode looks way better with a yoke.
Am I a yoke to you? And Teslarati tweeted out that SpaceX reinstalls the Super Heavy booster on the orbital launch mount. What's next?
Elon said, booster static fire on orbital launch mount, hopefully next week. That will be fun to see.
And then Thomas Burkhardt said, SpaceX is preparing to resume Starlink launches as early as next week. And Elon said,
satellites with lasers in space. Strokes white cat.
SpaceX is targeting Monday, September 13th for the launch of Starlink. And Elon said,
these are version 1.5 Starlinks with laser intersatellite links, which are needed for high latitude and mid-ocean coverage.
Jeff said, remember when Top Gear faked the Tesla Roadster running out of battery mid-show, and Elon pulled the car's logs to prove they were liars? Ah, good times.
Elon said, an early season episode of the Tesla soap opera.
EVHQ said, is Starlink going to be deployed between Earth and Mars to improve communications for Starship?
Elon said, yeah.
Silicon Valley said, FSD Beta 10 visualization is full screen, and the other things you add are transparent for the full self-driving view. Look on the left of this image.
Elon said, digital clock coming in 2 weeks. I don't know if that's a joke or not.
Black Model 3 said, is that when waypoints in 10.1 come?
Elon said 3 weeks.
Wait, so is that now October 1st instead of September 24th? Or is he kidding?
It might be a joke. Who knows?
Oli said, the 2 currently fully operational vehicles taking humans to orbit, I didn't realize how small Soyuz actually is.
Elon said Falcon 9 is technically a heavy lift rocket. If flown as an expendable, payload to orbit is similar to Delta IV Heavy, roughly 25 tons to low Earth orbit. And Starship is 10 times bigger.
And if you want a t-shirt that shows SpaceX rockets in scale, you can get them at EcoWare. All right, and then Elon tweeted out that Floki has arrived.
And the Earl of Frunk Puppy said, for the love of God, put that pup in a frunk.
Elon said, will do. Pranay said, Elon, can we see a pic of Floki and Marvin together?
Elon said, they are not yet friends.
The Boring Company tweeted out, congratulations to the TUM Boring for winning the inaugural Not a Boring competition. Super impressive. Completed over 60 feet of tunnel digging during the competition, and they are still digging.
Elon said, nice work.
All right, so we had a poll this week, and we asked, how big a deal is it that the delay of Tank Turn has happened?
Most people said that it's no biggie. When would they have used it anyway? I'm guessing that most people haven't pre-ordered their Rivian because Zach is still pretty upset.
Yeah, I'm pretty salty over this. They said it could do it. It was one of the differentiators from Cybertruck.
Right.
Did anyone agree with me?
Yeah, a lot of people thought that it was lame of Rivian, that it was deceptive. And some people said that if they had a reservation that they'd cancel it.
All right, it's time for Community Mail Time.
Our buddy Jeff's EV event just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, Jeff just let us know that Cake, the Swedish electric motorcycle manufacturer, is going to have 3 of their electric motorcycles there at his event, and I think you'll be able to sign a waiver and take them out for test rides.
Plus, there are going to be raffles for $50 gift cards, test drives, and rides in all different types of Teslas, Ford Mach-E, Chevy Bolts, and more.
So this year's EV event and meetup is at the Hebert Candies on Route 20 in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts on Saturday, September 18th from 1 to 5 p.m.
If you are nearby in New England on September 18th, stop by and say hello.
We'll be there too. Spencer spotted this license plate in San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
Has something to do with Floki, I guess.
Yes.
Ignacio in Zell am See, Austria, tweeted out this picture of a
highlighter
Model 3.
Nice. Great.
Our buddy Fred sent us this photo saying that when the Dutch can't fit any more solar on their roof, here's what they do. And look very closely at the roof of this random Dutch barn that Fred caught a photo of, and I counted it. It's 272 solar panels. That's about 75 kilowatts on that barn.
Joseph sent us this photo of Simon Cowell's Model X in front of London's Harrods. It's a candy, red color, and that's Simon Cowell's.
Yeah, he said he didn't like it. He loved it.
Yeah.
Tim sent us this photo of a Pink Floyd-inspired Tesla taken near Chicago.
Wow, just another brick in the wall.
Yeah. Jeff sent us this picture of a pink Model X that his daughter spotted in North Andover, Mass. Or how about this hot pink Model X sent to us from Kathy?
Joe sent us these pictures of an NYPD police car.
And Bonnie sent us this photo of St. Hubert's Barbecue, which is a 70-year-old chain up in Quebec. They have converted this bug with Tesla parts inside, so it's an electric bug. Pretty cool to see an electric bug.
That's awesome. Thank you to everyone who's sending in those pictures. I love different colored Teslas. At some point,
well, there's more coming next week.
Oh, good. Great.
All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews. Let's see what we got.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. This is Scott, reporting in from London, Kentucky. off of Interstate 75 at the Supercharger with 6 version 2 chargers in the parking lot of an information center that's open during the day. Clean bathrooms available in there. There's also a giant chicken. There's a Cheddar's restaurant, a McDonald's with a Marathon gas station in front of it. There's a steakhouse. And a little bit further on is a Waffle House. So pretty good food and drink availability at this location. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Now you know.
Zach and Jesse, we're here at beautiful Hampton Bay Marina, right at the very tippy top of St. Simon's Island, and we're getting ready to go spend a few days at Little St. Simon's, which we highly recommend. Little St. Simon's has parking spots here at the marina, including a dedicated spot for Teslas with Tesla Destination Charger and a Clipper Creek J1772. So you can stay over there as long as you want and have a full charge on the way home. A wonderful destination for a few days, and now you know.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. This is Holger from Austria again. I'm here in Germany in Weibersbrunn. This is a supercharger with 16 stalls, all V3. There's a gas station and a hotel nearby, and it's next to the A3 highway. I give this a 7 out of 10. Now you know.
Hi Zach and Jesse, this is Dave here from New Zealand. I'm down in the mid-north island. This is Taupo. We have a 4-stall, 120 kilowatt charger. We're just walking distance from the lake. Not that you can see it at the moment, it's early morning. Quite cold, about 2 degrees at the moment. We've got multiple motels, hotels and eateries within 5 to 10 minutes walk from here. So plenty around. I rate this about a 6 out of 10. Now you know.
Thank you, everybody, for doing those Supercharger reviews. If you want to check those out, you can head over to nowyouknowchannel.com and check out all the Supercharger reviews on a map so you know exactly where they are. And you can upload your own there as well, and you might see yours on the show.
All right, it's time for new Superchargers going online in the world. What do we got?
Number 240 in California is the 12-stall version 3 in Yoke at Locust Ave in California.
Number 44 in Australia is the 3-stall version 3 in Mo, Victoria.
The 8-stall version 3 in Naples at Tarpon Bay Boulevard, Florida.
Number 13 in New Zealand is the 3-stall version 3 in Hastings, New Zealand.
The 3-stall version 3 in Yuang, South Korea.
The 12-stall version 3 in Vernon, British Columbia.
Number 48 in South Korea is the 6-stall version 3 in Gangbuk, South Korea.
Number 33 in Japan is the 4-stall in Kumamoto, Japan.
Number 118 in Canada is the 8-stall version 3 at Cache Creek, British Columbia.
Number 83 in the UK is the 8-stall version 3 in Seven Oaks, UK.
And number 70 in Florida, number 1,133 in the US, number 2,937 in the world is the 16-stall version 3 at Port St. Lucie on Florida's Turnpike in Florida.
Now, there are 202 permitted Supercharger locations in the world right now, and 118 are under construction right now. So there's a lot more being built.
That's really exciting.
All right, it's time for our Patreon giveaway. We're giving away a $30 gift card to EcoWare. So if you want to get a new t-shirt or a pillow or a mug or some honey, you can do that. Who's our winner this week?
The winner is JL Murr.
Congratulations, JL. To get into our big barrel of fun, just join us on Patreon. The more you support us, the more chances you have to win. And now, it is time for what everyone's been waiting for.
Ah, yes.
The box of whatever's in the box. What's in the box?
We're going to find out.
I will get the accessories ready for that.
Okay.
Now, the story behind this is we ordered it.
Yes.
And
like
then,
everybody else.
And paid the money like everybody else. And then it never came. And I emailed the company. I'm like, where's my Tesla Kilo? And I'm like, oh, it got lost. And I'm like, well, fine, but send it. And they're like, we can't. There's no more left. And I was like, no more left.
But apparently,
somebody pulled some strings or
I don't
something
know.
for us.
Something
I don't know.
happened.
Oh, look at that. That's going to look great on the set. Look at this little
Look
holder.
at that.
Oh, and this is so cool. Look at the
Nice little box.
Oh, man. That
Nice.
looks cool. I guess we have to take off this little sticker so we
think
can... So we can...
Are we really going to open it?
Oh, we're going to have a sip right now.
Really?
Yes, we are.
We've earned it. Huh?
We've earned it. We've waited for this. I wanted to do this on the 5-year show, on the episode 260, but came too late.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do it. Here's our shot glasses.
Okay. I don't know how you pour this.
Turn
so you
that.
pull it straight off. There's
instructions.
This bottle was handcrafted by single glass artisans, as such as imperfections in marking each bottle unique. Oh wow, that is really easy to open.
Wow.
I don't think anyone's shown.
Galley
anyone
has.
drinking.
Galley's
Okay.
drunk it on air.
Which way do I pour it?
I would pour it that way, wouldn't you?
This is so
It's a 2-person operation.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't know how much is a shot, so
that's good.
Okay.
For me, at least.
That's probably fine for me too. Okay.
I'll take a nap.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh,
look at you. All right.
I like.
Oh, it's got the Tesla logo on there.
It's a good little gluggle jug.
And it's got the Tesla word there.
Okay.
All right.
To 262.
To 262. Ooh, that's smooth. Wow. I'm glad we had it after the show, because before the show,
Probably wouldn't have made it through.
but that's... Wow, I'm not like a tequila aficionado, but that's good tequila.
I mean, if you're not a tequila aficionado and you say that, that's even more praise, I think. Right?
Is it? I don't know.
Because most people can't handle,
Wow.
I think. I don't know.
Wow. So you got a spot for it?
Yeah, we're in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Wow.
Pretty good.
It just glows from behind.
That's really good.
Wow. Thank you, everybody. I don't know if maybe it was because when I contacted the company and I did throw a little weight around. I said, do you know who this is? No, I said, I really want to put this on the set, and maybe someone knew. So thank you. Thank you to the gods that made that work out. That was great. And thank you to you guys for staying to the end of the show, for hanging out with us, for being our supporters, our community, because you're the ones that make this all worth doing every week. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Now you know.